What's going on, guys? Lawson Turner back with another episode of the Cover 2 podcast, and we had some great basketball games. The Nuggets-Timberwolves game just ended at the time of recording, but let's go over the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers game that was earlier on in the day. It was an outstanding game. We saw back and forth action. We saw Tyrese keep his hot streak going. Like I said in game 1, and for the most part of the Milwaukee Bucks series, he was kind of, he was only taking 6 shots. There were single-digit scoring games, and it looked like he was trying to get the others involved just a little too much. If you're that star guy and the catalyst and the heartbeat of your team and of your offense, as Jalen Brunson is for the Knicks, you got to be just as aggressive, if not a little bit more than he is. And it's going to be hard for Tyrese to be more aggressive than Jalen, because as good as Jalen is at facilitating and getting his other guys involved, he's there to get buckets. Now, Tyrese Haliburton followed up a awesome Game 2 performance with maybe an even better Game 3 performance. Another 30-piece. He scored 35 points in the 38 minutes that he played in Game 3. But let's dive into the Indiana Pacers 3 stars of the game for me. Tyrese Haliburton, as mentioned, 35 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, a block. He was everywhere and had his hand really in the game from the opening tip to the end of the game. They as in the Pacers, jumped out to an early 12-point lead and they go on a 20-5 run in the first quarter from the 11:22 mark to the 5:04 mark in the first quarter. But what do we know about the Knicks? They're an 11-0 run waiting to happen. They're a 16-5 run waiting to happen. And before we dive into the Knicks runs, let's finish up with the other 2 star players of the Pacers that I thought performed the best. Miles Turner, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks. He had the clutch block on Josh Hart with under a minute to go to keep the game as close as it was. We saw clutch shots from Jalen Brunson. We saw the most clutch shot of the night was from Andrew Nembhard, but we'll get to that. Let's turn our attention to the 3rd star of the game for me, Pascal Siakam. This is the Pascal we saw the first 2 games against the Bucks. Aggressive and efficient, and wasn't taking a lot of, he took 1-3 and made it. Awesome. That's what Pascal does. Limit his 3-point opportunities, and he's more, efficient. If he goes 1 for 2, 1 for 1, you're loving that for the Pacers. Now, if he's, hucking up 4 or 5, you're like, yee, that's not really your game. Get on the block, get on the baseline, post up, and they will find you in transition. They'll find you in the half court set, and they will really take advantage, because he's a unique body. He's long, he's strong, he has good touch around the rim, he can get to his spots. He's really effective when it comes to just give it to Pascal on the low block and let him go. Now, to transition to the Knicks, they were without OG Anunoby, who was out with that hamstring injury he suffered in the second half of Game 2, which you saw in this game. It would have been great to have OG Anunoby out there slowing down Pascal, making it harder. OG Anunoby, he is such a versatile defender. Not only can he guard damn near 1 through 4, he is so long that even if he has to switch out to a 5-man, it's going to be tough because his low center of gravity is so strong. He's so good with his hands that we saw him be a menace against the Sixers. We saw him in games 1 and 2 be outstanding on both ends for the Knicks. And I think that if he misses Game 4, which I don't know if he'll play Game 4, it's going to be really tough, because we saw the Knicks start Precious Achiuwa, and we saw Miles McBride get more minutes, and it really reminded me as to, damn, this Knicks team, for as much as Tibbs loves his guys, they're one Nick away. No pun intended. They're their twisted ankle, a gimpy hamstring, a neck crank. Like there's so many different things that could just go wrong. But let's dive into the three stars I thought played the best for the Knicks. I thought Jalen Brunson, once again, he didn't drop his 30 to his 34 plus that he's averaging in the playoffs, but 26 points, 6 assists. That's good. That's good for a just genuine playoff game. 26 points and 6 assists. Now, we've come to see that Jalen Brunson can be very, very efficient, but he's going to take a lot of shots. So if it takes you 26 shots to get you those 26 points like it took Jalen Brunson last night, it's tough. It's going to be really tough because, like I mentioned for Haliburton being for the Pacers, Jalen Brunson, you are that for the Knicks. You're the heartbeat. You're the floor general. It's up to you to get your guys going and get them to their spots. Speaking of guys getting to their spots, Dante DiVincenzo was another sensational game. 35 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block, and 7 for 11 from 3. Hey, Dante can play. Like, I go back to stars in their role. Dante, good two-way player, don't let him get going, because it'll look like the past 2 games where he'll hit 6-7 threes and just light it up. And I thought he played outstanding. Now, to go to the third star for the Knicks for me, Josh Hart. Another just Josh Hart game. 43 of the 48 minutes, 10 points, which is around his season average scoring wise, not playoff scoring average, but regression to the mean in some stats. 18 rebounds. He is first team all heart and hustle. That ball goes up, go get it. He also added 4 assists and 2 steals to his performance, which every game, whenever we as basketball fans, whenever we watch these Knicks games, we just find ourselves rooting for the Knicks for whatever reason. They're a fun team to watch. They're a fun team to root for, and they came up short in Game 3. Now the biggest thing for me, the biggest takeaway was that, and I don't know if this happened due to OG Anunoby's absence or if it was due to they just needed more bodies, and I don't know if the Pacers role players, especially ones coming off the bench, were a little not shell shocked at the moment because role players normally play better at home than they do away. But this is the first game that the Knicks bench has outscored the Pacers bench. It was 24-14. And when I was watching, I was like, this isn't your TJ McConnell game that you had against the Bucks. And TJ's been awesome in games 5 and 6 against the Bucks, especially in game 6. And then you look over, the first 3 games of the Knicks series, he's been that catalyst off the bench that can still, get the Pacers in their action. And he just shot the ball bad last game. 3 for 10, 0 for 1 from 3. I mean, I thought he was still good on the defensive end as well as can be expected when you're matching up with Jalen Brunson. Now, when I was looking at reasons why the Knicks lost, because they won the 3-point battle, they made 2 more threes and had a shot a better percent from 3. Excuse me. They won the free throw shooting battle. They got 4 more free throws and even made 1 more than the Pacers did. They lost the turnover battle, but the points off turnovers, they only lost by 1. They were getting killed in the paint. The paint scoring was 56-40. And Indy killed them on the offensive glass. 10 offensive rebounds for the Knicks, 13 for the Pacers. That led to 16 Indiana second chance points and 8 Knicks second chance points. Now to get to the play that was play of the night and might be play of the second round depending upon how the other series go. Andrew Nembhard, he had 5 points the whole game. and all 5 of them were under 2 minutes. He hit the game tying layup with a minute 55. It was a game tying or lead taking. Let me double check. It was a lead taking layup with a minute 55 left that put the Pacers up 104-102. And to be ice cold from the floor, because that was his first points of the night. And then with 17.8 seconds left, he hit a 31-foot, not a step back 31-foot three with under 20 seconds left. That would end up being the game winning shot. I thought that when the Pacers went up 106-103 and Jalen hit the game tying three, I was like, oh, Jalen Brunson has no fear. He hasn't shown any fear through the 8 games prior in the playoffs. He wants the ball in his hand and he'll make it work. And when Nembhard hit that three, and it was also often Aaron Nesmith offensive rebound that they reset the shot clock and got to kill a little bit more clock in a sense, but if they were relying on an Andrew Nembhard 31-foot three, step back three, because it looked like the Knicks just had him clamped and they forced him into a bad shot. And to Andrew Nembhard's credit, he smacked it. And then there was, your Nick Pacer controversy at the end. Did Jalen Brunson get fouled with just under 14 seconds left? Even if he did, I don't think it would have been 3 free throws. But it is what it is, and Aaron Nesmith hit the 2 free throws after Jalen Brunson missed the game tying 3, and that's how we arrived at 2-1, still in the Knicks' favor. Game 4 is Sunday at 3:30 on ABC, and I'm excited because either we're going to go back to New York 2-2, or Knicks are going to go home with a chance to clinch and reach the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, that's all I have for you guys in this episode of the Cover 2 podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at the Cover 2 Pod 26. Link is in the description. 2 on Twitter, or X, is spelled TO. Or, like I said, link will be in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Who do you guys think is going to win Game 4? As always, for the Cover 2 podcast, I'm Lawson Turner, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.